Hey y'all, it's Kim. So I'm early this morning. We've got some workers coming to the house to do some stuff, but I wanted to at least check out Lefties losing it and maybe show you a few clips of Tim Walz. Oh my goodness, this guy. I'm so glad him and Kamala Harris lost. I'm just gonna say it, whatever you want to say. But here we go. I saw his face on here and I was like, oh boy. He's making his rounds again, I guess, just to make sure that he's in the spotlight, maybe making a run for the presidency. But could you imagine jazz hands? Anyway, let me start this. Oh boy, these people, they're horrible.
Good evening, and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it. Let's start with just how nasty, bitter, and full of hate the modern left has become. This next woman is so demented with hate that she wants you and your children and your grandchildren to die. That's not hyperbole, it's precisely what she said.
And the lady probably doesn't have any kids of her own. She's probably a cat lady. Just gonna throw it out there. I've seen this clip and I was like, oh my gosh. Somebody that's that unhinged definitely doesn't need children either, or grandchildren, or anything. I would hate for even an animal to be in her care. But anyway, I'll shut up.
Yes, I would like for you to die of measles, of polio, of all the horrible diseases that living in this country is full of privilege, ignorance, morbid. I don't even worry about it because it doesn't really affect you. I hope it affects your children.
Because she has no meaning. No meaning whatsoever. If you're not concerned about the future, you can go around and spout this kind of nonsense to somebody that you don't even know just because you disagree with them politically. You want them to suffer? Really? Really? Are we there, y'all? I mean, how stupid are these people? Unhinged. Yes, it says unhinged and feral, but I mean, I'm not going around telling people I hope they die. Okay. I mean, I'm a little unhinged in other ways, but I hide it well, and I sure don't go out in public and do this kind of stuff, threatening people and hoping they catch diseases. I mean, are y'all serious? But yet they're the same ones that be walking around or driving around in the car with the mask. So, make that make sense. Come on. And they wanted everybody to be like, oh, social distancing because Dr. Fauci said so. And then, of course, they come out later and it's like all BS. So, anyway, I'm just going to.
She wants your family to die and your community to be gutted.
Yeah.
It'd make her happy. That's what she said. That's from the side that likes to portray itself as tolerant and compassionate.
Oh.
And they also like to portray themselves as intelligent and educated. Let's hear from this young lefty who praises Hamas and claims that Israeli hostages have also praised Hamas, and in particular Hamas's complex organizational skills.
Long live Hamas. Long live, their really complex organizational skills.
Okay, leave it to a young white liberal woman that looks like this to say something foolish. Just saying.
That, even Israeli hostages have talked about their admiration and respect for, based off of what Trump has said about his business endeavors in Gaza. I think that he will definitely try to do so. I definitely think Hamas and the other resistance groups are going to probably kick his ass and kill a bunch of people if they are trying to do anything to Gazans home.
Now to Joy Behar from The View, the insane asylum masquerading as a TV show. Here she claims that it's the right that are snowflakes, and then she seems to indulge in some democracy denial. Is she really questioning that Donald Trump won the election?
By the way, there's such snowflakes on the right. If you say anything about them, they're going to the lawyers in 2 seconds. Bannon he's out there saying that Trump won the election.
But these ladies masquerade as journalists, and then they try to cover with the First Amendment, where they have free speech, freedom of speech. I mean, a lot of this stuff is defamation and lies. There's no verifiable proof. So you'd make that make sense. They're saying that they'll run to lawyers, but I mean, when you're lying about somebody constantly and propagandizing an entire group because the morons that watch the show, I mean, what do you think? Yeah, you're going to get sued for lying and spreading these lies and propaganda. Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister, he would be so happy with the way that the Democrat Party has done all this time. So, yeah, accuse the other guy of what y'all are actually doing. I mean, he was a propaganda minister for Hitler. They didn't have any kind of like public television or anything. It was all whatever the party wanted them to hear, the Nazi party. So, anyway, and then we come to find out that USAID was paying a lot of these news organizations to basically have the same talking points. That it's all scripted. It's all like, we got this talking point. Like when they started the whole thing with J.D. Vance being weird or bizarre, that was their talking point for the week. I mean, they had the same basically marching orders and talking points. So anyway, I mean, these people are just so fake. I mean, they give plenty of content, but it's hard to watch them because they're so disgustingly fake.
We know he didn't win the election.
Let's check in with alleged comedian Stephen Colbert, who had billionaire Reid Hoffman on his show. This is the guy who has funded lawfare against Donald Trump and has in the past been forced to apologize for spreading disinformation during a Senate race. And he also had to say sorry for suggesting that the Trump assassination attempt was a false flag. But he's a lot more shy these days. Well, he was on Colbert anyway. Watch here as Stephen Colbert tries to get him to attack Elon Musk. But this is the best Hoffman could do.
You know Elon. Should we trust what's going on?
Well, I think, let me put it this way. What I want to say is that as Americans, we should be trying to help as much as possible, right? We want government efficiency.
Yes.
But obviously, we could do it in a much less cruel and much more lawful manner.
Yes, cutting government waste and spending on mad green and trans projects is very cruel indeed. But a very timid response there, not like the Reid Hoffman we've known and loathed over the years. Let's hear from Elon Musk now. He was talking about his fellow tech billionaire in a Joe Rogan interview not long ago.
Known Epstein clients who are obviously extremely powerful, powerful politically and very wealthy, are Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Reid Hoffman. Why was Reid Hoffman so intent on destroying Trump?
Do you think it's because they're worried about the list coming out?
Yeah, one of the reasons.
Fascinating. Time for some local lefties losing it. And let's check in with Tasmanian Senator in the Australian Parliament. This woman is a senator in the Australian Parliament. Her name is Jackie Lambie, and she's mad about US tariffs on Australian aluminium and steel. Listen to how she would handle this issue. Talk about delusions of grandeur. It really is quite scary to think this woman is a senator.
Quite frankly, we don't owe the United States anything. You have one or two choices. You can sit here in a corner now and you can do nothing and let them all fall over the top of us, or you can continue to play the nice game, which, by the way, has not done anything to help us. So now it's about time you started hitting them back where it hurts. And these things will hurt. I can tell you, if they do not have access to Pine Gap and the communications there, then they are not gathering any intelligence over this side of the world. This is huge. So just warn them, we will close their intelligence off.
It's huge, folks. It's huge. And Jackie Lambie is no stranger to saying wildly unhinged stuff. Remember this when she called for Elon Musk to be imprisoned for insisting that X be a free speech platform?
Musk has no social conscience or conscience whatsoever. I don't know, whatever Elon Musk is on, it says that that's okay to continue to air that is absolutely disgusting behaviour. And quite frankly, the bloke should be jailed. And the sooner that we can bring rules in or do something about this sort of game playing with our social media, the better off we're going to be. But quite frankly, the power that man has, because of that platform that he's on, it's got to stop.
And let's not forget this meltdown on Sky News last year.
So when it comes to the tech billionaire, like I've already said, I think he's a social media knob with no social conscience. He has absolutely no social conscience. Someone like that should be in jail and the key be thrown away. That bloke should not have a right to be out there on his own ideology platform and creating hatred.
Who exactly is spreading hate, Jackie? Perhaps look in the mirror. And the mystery may have been solved. Who was the member of the media who hit Donald Trump in the face with a mic? Let's play the incident from the weekend, and Trump's reaction here is priceless.
I will say that something I read, and this is kind of like a little bit unrelated, but still, with the way that this lady does brush his face, there's something called brush contact. So, like in the KGB and stuff like that, spy stuff, they use brush contact to infect people with poison and stuff. I'm just saying, I think the lady should be fired if she hasn't already from her job, but I'm just saying, this was not cool at all. Like, it was totally uncalled for. And I hope she lost her job.
How I look at my son when he forgets to put the milk back in the fridge.
Mr. President, obviously you're concerned about the situation in Gaza.
Now, everyone assumed that was an accident, a clumsy member of the media embarrassing themselves. But what if it was a little bit more sinister than that? What if it was some TDS-afflicted lefty? Well, perhaps both things can be true, but the woman who has been named as the culprit by various internet sleuths is this one. She is a lefty activist masquerading as a journalist, like the bulk of the US media. She's not special. She even wrote a piece accusing Donald Trump of mimicking Adolf Hitler's language. Yeah. Let's see if there are any more clumsy moments from reporters, but at least we can exonerate this dude. He clearly had nothing to do with it whatsoever. God, I do love the memes at the moment. People are doing some very good work. Now, let's check in with someone the Secret Service should never allow around Donald Trump, but perhaps Elon Musk. This is once hilarious comic Bill Burr, who went a little nutty during COVID and has never really recovered. Maybe long COVID is real. Watch this insane diatribe about Elon Musk, claiming he gave a shout out to Hitler. This is nuts.
Veterans the people in the armed services that died trying to stop Hitler. And then this guy comes in, and does that while being an immigrant too, which is kind of the whole thing. None of it tracks how you can support the troops, America, love it or leave it. And then this guy comes in and gives a shout out to Hitler.
It's not funny.
You know what? I'm old enough to remember just a few years ago when Bill Burr was still funny and when he was mocking those who use stupid Hitler analogies.
He is the reference. Anytime you want to say somebody's evil, you just say he is the next Hitler. Donald Trump, he's the next Hitler. It's always he's the next Hitler. He died 75 years ago? Nothing quiets a room like dropping the H-bomb.
Now to a disgusting piece of Jew hatred. This is real Jew hatred in 2025. And as we've seen in the past 18 months, there's been an explosion of these incidents, often perpetrated by the left. The people who call everyone Nazis and Hitler and fascists are the ones that have revealed a virulent strain of anti-Semitism amongst them, including these young ladies in Ireland. Watch the frightening levels of hate and ignorance here as they abuse and spit on a Jewish man.
This is my letter sign. You can take a video all you want. You're not welcome in Ireland. How you start not los Samaritans.
Yes.
Israel is also, yeah. The baby Israel is also, yeah. And you know,
I love you too. I hope. Did you just speak on me?
I did.
I think it's time for a trip down memory lane and let us marvel at how Australia's international reputation as a laid-back, sane country with robust, resilient people was altered, perhaps forever altered, when our leaders lost their ever-loving minds during COVID. Never forget the lunacy that was cheered on by the media, the activists and academic class. For those watching overseas, and this segment is watched by millions of people overseas every week, the following 34 seconds features various state leaders and chief health officers starring the sunset-fearing former Victorian Premier Dan Andrews.
Playgrounds, basketball courts, skate parks and exercise equipment, despite the fact that it's outdoors, will be closed.
People can walk the dog around the street. Don't talk to your neighbours.
Browsing is not allowed.
So please, when you open your front door, just think for a moment, do you really need to go out?
If you are at Adelaide Oval and the ball comes towards you, my advice to you is to duck and just do not touch that ball.
There's a whole bunch of people down the Ryback Beach last night who thought the best thing to do was to go and watch the sunset. I'm sure it was a beautiful sunset. But it's not in the spirit or in the letter of these rules.
You got to watch out for those dangerous sunsets. Yeah, that's where COVID strikes most, outdoors, watching sunsets. And let's not forget this gem, then WA Premier Mark McGowan, having a woman translate English into English. I still can't believe this happened.
You can die from the corona or get really sick.
People can pass away from this corona, or people can get really sick one.
It's time to get the corona needle to keep people and country strong.
Again, it's time to get them this needle from the corona to keep them, but all the people and country proper strong one.
Now let's hear from this non-binary personal trainer who thinks having a gym for just women is sexist, dangerous, not safe for women. What?
So I keep seeing stories about this new women's gym that's for biological women, but no trans women, right? And I just can't help but think this isn't a safe space for women, not for cis women or any women, because if trans women are very explicitly excluded, then that means any woman who doesn't perform femininity the way that the woman that owns the gym thinks they should is they're going to be like, oh, you've got too much muscle, you're not a real woman. Oh, you're a bit hairy, you're not a real woman. Oh, you're a bit tall, you're not a real woman.
No. More like, oh, you've got XY chromosomes, you're not a real woman. Biological reality doesn't care about your feelings or your delusions. Now, more good news for Donald Trump, and even NBC couldn't hide the truth behind this starter. The last time so many Americans thought the country was headed in the right direction was more than 20 years ago.
First of all, the mood of the country, this really jumped out. We asked folks, is it in the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44% who say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004.
Brace yourselves. I have an all-time great lefties losing it clip coming up shortly. But first, we've seen actor and lefty losing it regular Alec Baldwin have multiple Trump-induced meltdowns. We've mocked his antics repeatedly on this segment. But even I felt a little bit sorry for him watching this next clip. Watch how this lefty wife, Hilaria, who identifies as Latin, but she's actually not Latin, listen to how she speaks to Alec, her husband. This is rough, folks.
It's going to be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show.
It's going to be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Oh, look at that look to camera. It looks a little bit haunted. If that's how she talks to him on the red carpet in front of the media, imagine what's happening behind closed doors. No wonder he's losing it on a regular basis. Now to geriatric Democrat Chuck Schumer, who appeared on The View, where his levels of lefty lunacy intensified further to a point where he mocked those who want to keep more of the money they've earned. He mocked those who want to see a reduction in taxes and red tape. Watch this and you'll understand perfectly why the Democrats, well, they're pretty much unelectable with an approval rating sitting at 29%.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or I built my company.
Well, he grifted off the American people. So remember that. This old man is probably worth millions and millions of dollars, and he's mocking Americans. That just goes to show you how their elitist attitude is, how much they hate America, and they don't care about us.
With my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, my the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
They think they own you. They think you wanting to keep more of your own money is somehow selfish, but they taking a chunk of your wages to waste on LGBTQ activism is, I don't know, righteous. To CNN now, where the hosts asked this imbecilic question, suggesting Tesla dealerships being firebombed and Teslas being vandalized is just a form of resistance. Indeed, she wonders whether this is the what resistance should look like.
Like if you are attacking Teslas or dealerships, going beyond vandalism, that could be an act of domestic terrorism. But I do want to ask about this as resistance. Is this what resistance should look like?
Talking about CNN, here is former anchor and insufferable hysteric Don Lemon.
Well, and then also let's look at what Kevin O'Leary had to say. He was on CNN. Let me see if I've got it here. There's a couple of clips. Let's see. There's that. Give me just a minute. I'll open this up.
When you set a car on fire, you should go to jail. You're a criminal. I don't think we have to talk about it in any other context. And all those cars have cameras in them, and those dealerships have cameras. You're beyond being stupid when you do that. You're going to go to jail, and you now have a government that just got their mandate. They can't wait to find idiots that do this. You're going to spend 5 to 20 years in prison if they get them on terrorism, which I think is a stretch. They will have no parole, no shortened sentence. They'll rot in hell in prison for 20 years. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. Breaking in, shooting a car, setting on fire, nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with Tesla. You are a criminal, and you should go
the broader
to
question
jail.
about the protest factor? I mean, you heard
What
Tim Walz.
protest? You're a criminal.
I'm talking about Tim Walz and his comments about the Tesla stock. He says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in his state. I mean, that's their investment fund. Point, what a bozo.
The minute.
Okay, so then let's look at this with Tim Walz actually talking about it. He's got this stupid app on his phone, whatever it is. Let me see here. Let me move this thing out of my way. It's bugging me. Okay, so we got this.
They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out. Just telling you.
Wow. I'm so glad this guy didn't get elected as vice president. I mean, just the fact that he would take the time to go do this. Anyway, and then there's that. You think Tim Walz is gay or retarded? I found a few of these clips. Let me see. Here's another one. It says, when you lose CNN, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I don't know who this young man is, but
Look, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president. With that said, Elon Musk employs 80,000+ Americans. Most of them are working class people. The implications of the stock, let's say this were to continue on for another year. So I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. Will the company at some point have to decrease its workplace? Most of those people, I would imagine, probably vote for Democrats, at least some of them. So now you're impacting people who likely share your worldview because you disagree with Elon Musk. Don't buy the car. Just like those guys were saying, let's protest Anheuser-Busch, et cetera. We're just not going to buy their beer. I'm okay with that. But destroying public property, there is no place for that. I agree with Kevin. Lock them up and set an example that this is not what we're going to tolerate in this country. Tim Walz is a.
So anyway, I'm sure Rita's going to have that on there, but I just wanted to show you that those clips and a few pictures. Let me see here, because there's this where Tim Walz on some area, he says, I've become friends with school shooters. Okay. I don't know what that means. Maybe he misspoke, but I still don't trust the guy. And then there he is during the debate. So obviously the guy's nuts. But whatever. Let me get back over here. And I can't stand this guy. He's so insufferable. Don Lemon. I'm not calling him old Lemon. It's Lemon.
And he's reminiscing here about CNN's golden age during the COVID era.
The highest point of CNN was during COVID, and we had COVID and George Floyd at the same time, and Donald Trump. And that was the height. That was the highest ratings, the most profitable of CNN. And so it was amazing to be there. People watched every night. Right. And they sort of relied on us because you were stuck.
Sounds like torture. Stuck at home listening to fact-free propaganda from CNN about COVID, BLM, and Trump. Gosh. Now, this may be the cringiest clip of the week. Watch this man, and I use the word man loosely here. This lefty thought it was a good idea to film this and post it online. I've got to say, bless these clowns, because if they didn't do this, if they didn't volunteer this content, this segment wouldn't exist. Oh, I just love that. The slow motion, the looks to camera. That's a real-life David Brent right there. I'm sure that clip is going to terrify MAGA types everywhere. Now to more toxic masculinity, this time from MSNBC anchor Lawrence O'Donnell, who goes on a frankly ludicrous and xenophobic rant about Elon Musk. The bigotry here is eye-opening.
Elon Musk does not understand the country where he now lives. Elon Musk would fail by a wide margin a high school AP American history test. He grew up in white South Africa, going to a segregated elementary school and high school where he learned nothing about American history, American law, American free enterprise. Elon Musk is such a bad salesman that he was stupid enough today to bring even more attention to the latest disturbing challenges the Tesla owners are facing, thanks entirely to Elon Musk.
Yeah, the world's richest man, a genius who just engineered the return of stranded astronauts from space, is just a dummy who doesn't even understand business. Well done, Lawrence. Just brilliant analysis there from you. You know, I think I liked you better when you were having meltdowns about hammers. This is an all-time great clip, guys. Enjoy. Stop the hammering.
Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it? Where's the hammer? Is it on the, go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering. Stop the hammering.
He seems normal.
I'll go down to the floor myself and stop it. Keep the commercial break going. Call Phil Griffin. I don't care who the you have to call. Stop the hammering.
Does he still have his job? What a jerk.
Empty out the control room and find out where this is going on. It's either there or out there somewhere.
Butthole.
They'll never not be funny. It's there. It could be all over around there. Did they ever find out who was behind the hammering? The fake news media is really hitting new lows, so eager to restart their debunked Russian conspiracy theories that they somehow managed to mix up this man, Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, with this dude, Vladimir Putin. Easy mistake to make if you've lost all reasoning, any semblance of objectivity. When you are an activist journalist for MSNBC, here are some of the corrections.
Last night, The Last Word reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network in which she said Trump was good friends with the world leader. Now, we said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview was subsequently released, and it showed that Gabbard was referring to Donald Trump and the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi.
Wait. So Tulsi Gabbard mentions that Trump is good friends with the world leader, and they not only just assumed she's talking about Vladimir Putin, but then they report that as if it were fact on television. That's what happened. Let's hear one more correction from MSNBC on that issue.
Last night, we reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network, in which she said that Trump was good friends with a world leader. We said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview shows that Gabbard was referring to Trump and Indian Prime Minister Modi. Clear that up.
Now let's check in with the worst vice presidential candidate we have seen, the uniquely awful Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Remember him?
Tampon Tim. Where's it at? Oh my gosh. And then the jazz hands. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, yes, this guy. Oh yeah, and did y'all see this? This is breaking. Caitlyn Jenner says, I'm more masculine than Tim Walz after the Minnesota governor bragged that his manhood scares MAGA. Really? Really? Oh my gosh. This guy. Yeah, there he is with that stupid phone. And then, oh, this is where, this is Charlie Kirk, but it says, hold on, let me open this.
We've saw the welfare queens. They've seen the Southern strategy.
Have they figured it out that the identity piece of this is more important than the actual substance behind it?
Well, they've been doing it for decades. I mean, we've saw the welfare queens. They've seen the Southern strategy. We've seen it over and over. It's an old playbook, and we're as dumb as we want to be that we allow them to do this with CRT and ESG and DEI and every three-letter word.
And then they demonize people.
Yeah, demonize and they weaponize grievance. They other people. They talk down to people, past people. They humiliate people. They weaponize difficult issues. But the bottom line is, and I think it goes back to what we began with, is, and I applaud you for this, is we cannot continue to be on the defense reacting to this. We've got to go on the offense. We got to meet people where they are. But I also think this, and this is where, this is part of the conversation I'm trying to have, is you got to respect people you disagree with, even, and you can't just dismiss people. This
How do
notion
you fight it?
And well, this
I
notion
think
of
I can kick most of their ass. I do think that. I know I can.
Wow, what a jerk. He thinks he can kick most of their ass, really? So he's resorting to violence? But if we do it, then we're like insurrectionists? Okay, you got it, yeah. Like the Summer of Love versus January 6th? Got it. I understand. If a Democrat's doing it, it's okay. If it's a Republican doing it or a right-wing, you're the one being in trouble. So got it. Okay. So anyway, that's where Caitlyn Jenner says I'm more masculine than he is. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ugh. Anyway. Thank God he didn't get in office.
He had all sorts of delusions of being vice president. Now he has delusions of being a presidential candidate, and he thinks he's a tough guy. Here he responds to media pundits who mocked his lack of masculinity.
How do you fight it? This
I think I can kick most of their ass. I do think that. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
Good luck with that, Tim. I think Judge Janine has you covered. Here, Tampon explains that Republican men are scared of his masculinity.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit. Why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not.
But when he's not threatening to kick ass or brag about his truck, he is cheering on the damage caused to an American manufacturer that employs tens of thousands of Americans on good wages, a company that chooses to manufacture cars in the US. Tim Walz is happy that this company is being attacked and its stock price is falling. This is disqualifying, folks, even more disqualifying than putting tampons in boys' bathrooms.
That little stock app, I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So.
To The View now, and here Whoopi Goldberg scares the already disturbingly dumb audience by suggesting that Donald Trump will deport American citizens.
Keep your eyes open, y'all, because if they can just come up and take somebody because they've made a decision that you are supposed to be that person, any one of us could find ourselves being deported to some country.
Don't give them any ideas, girl. Don't give them any ideas, girl.
I mean, how stupid. And then who watches that trash show other than to gather content? Are people that brainwashed and just dull that they would believe that? Holy hell.
You heard Anna Navarro say that. And talking about Anna, look how miserable she is here as fellow CNN panelist states some facts and figures about Trump's popularity.
NBC News on Meet the Press, they reported their polling found the highest level of enthusiasm in the country going in the right direction since 2004. 20 years.
Yes, stating facts and figures can be triggering for the left. Watch here as another panelist on CNN claims that the data is all wrong because people in the street said so.
You do know what you're saying is incorrect. I don't care about the polling. The American, I don't care what NBC is saying. I can talk to the people on the streets. Are you on the streets? Are you talking to people?
Now to lefty Jon Stewart. Here's some wise words of advice for the Democrats whose approval rating has plummeted to under 30%.
You're at 27%. You've got to get Trump to lose 8 points of popularity just for you to get to the point where you're 13 points below him. Your approval is only 7 points above where it turns red and goes into low power mode.
Yep, things must be grim if even Jon Stewart is mocking the Democrats.
Maybe you're not a numbers learner. Maybe a visual demonstration of where you are. Let me meet you where you live. Here we go. Yes, it's 48% approval. This is them. This is you. This is you. 27%. This is them. Oh, I see. They're much higher. Yes, they're much higher.
And that's it for Lefties losing it.
Oh my gosh, that show is crazy. Anyway, I just want to share that with y'all today. I'll probably be back on to do some more of the JFK files. Ooh, there was a lot in there. But I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good morning anyway. I'll see, like I said, when I can get back in here to make some more stuff. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.